Jenny here from the Laundry Garden, and welcome to this evening's garden tour in June. And I'm going to be focusing quite a bit on the roses because they are looking incredible. Some are flowering more than others, some aren't. Now, Rose Madame Alfred Carrier here is just past its best now and ready for some deadheading, but it has looked beautiful this year, and the peonies as well, they have been sensational. Everybody's been commenting on how lovely they are looking here. We have 3 roses climbing up the front of the house, and we'll start with this one. This is Dance to Fur, and the colour of it is quite unique, I think. It's quite a bright red, pink even, and it's so pretty, very ruffled in its appearance, smothered in flowers, quite high up as well. We planted these roses quite early on when we came here, and it stays very healthy as well. It's a beautiful rose. Just on from Dons to Fur is this rose by the front door. Bearing in mind we have a blue front door, I've gone for a yellow rose. And here it is. It's sort of quite a buttery yellow. This is called Teasing Georgia. And as the years have gone by, this huge Acer has started to take over the front of this rose. So I'm hoping it'll just defy it and start to come over the doorway so we can start to see the flowers from above as well. And this is a rose that I really do love. It almost has, as it fades, an antique look about it. This is Rose Highgrove, and it throws out clusters of these beautiful burgundy coloured flowers, I'd say, reddy burgundy. And it's an extremely healthy rose as well, with a lovely fragrance right outside our kitchen. Oh, really is beautiful. Now, all these roses I've just shown you don't mind having a little bit less sun. Now, we have a rose here in the corner which is very new, and it is a brand new rose sent to me from David Austin Roses. This is the King's Rose, and I've only put it in a pot temporarily here. Needs a little bit of a deadhead, but you can get a really good idea of its quite unusual flower as well. And this will get approximately 3 to 4 foot in height and width, so it will, if I kept it in this pot, it would need a much bigger pot. And I'm quite liking it here in this corner at the moment, so we'll see. But it is a beautiful, and it has this lovely myrrh fragrance. So another rose by the kitchen window. Yeah, I think I'll have that. This is definitely a part of the garden that I absolutely love at this time of year, with its billowing Nepeta Six Hills Giant, and it engulfs this area, which looks amazing. And we've got these gorgeous huge peonies. I have a feeling this might be Sarah Bernhardt. I'm not 100% sure. I planted this quite a while ago, but I let the foxgloves self-seed, and they're even coming up through this Gertrude Jekyll rose, which I think looks very beautiful. Underplanted with some salvias. The weeping pear, I love how it makes this area. We've also got something coming up now, and that is this. We've got one flower on it at the moment, but you can see all these flower heads starting to come. This is Hemerocallis corky, and I love, look at the back of the petals, that lovely stripe, and then the butter yellow flowers. It's just beautiful. Works brilliantly in this section. And then we're just anticipating this rose. This is last year's David Austin rose, which is Emma Bridgewater. And we have got some flower heads, quite a few flower heads coming on it. So hopefully I'll be able to show you this once it starts to flower in the next few weeks. Probably by my July tour, you'll be able to see that flowering. But there is a rose that is flowering just over here. And that is Rose Pilgrim, which I have planted just either side to climb up this gazebo. And it's wonderful. Its fragrance is just beautiful. And I love its flower as well, with its slightly pink tinge. You can see at the back of this one as it begins to fade. But even then, it's just gorgeous. I can smell it now. And it goes beautifully with the solanum. The hedge was clipped only a couple of weeks ago. It's looking very crisp and clean with all its wavy lines. And we're almost getting a little bit of a join on this part of the wave here. This rose is very, very special and was a gift from a girlfriend, and it's called Rose Jenny. And the flower of the rose are just extremely frilly, almost like petticoats. And the rose starts this soft, delicate pink and then fades to an even softer pink. It's just gorgeous. Love it. And just before we leave the house garden, this is the white border, and all the foxgloves just, oh, okay, there's some rogue ones that have come in here, but I don't mind. What can we do? Now, the rose in this border came with us from our previous garden. This is Rose Winchester Cathedral. We did bring 6 with us, and we have 3 in the border I've just shown you, but they're not doing so well anymore, and I'm just left with these ones that I absolutely adore. They're just beautiful. Here's the Persicaria Acer, and the chocolate foxglove is just starting to show its colour here. I love this combination. It works beautifully. And it won't be long until the Persicaria starts to throw out its flowers as well. Now the wisteria is over, but now the foxgloves are starting to take over, and we do have a collection here of roses and on the other side, which will be in full flower come July, which I'll be able to show you when we come back here. This Catinus is looking beautiful and starting to throw out its plumes, which will then become quite smoky as they mature. And then we've got the rose here, Rose Darcy Bustle, which I picked some last night and is now in the house because I love its fragrance. Now, unfortunately, David Austin have retired this in the UK, but I still think you can get this in the US. I highly, highly recommend it. Such a beautiful rose. The lavender is starting to flower here, which, oh, it's beautiful. An absolute bee magnet as well. Now we have some roses in pots just over here, and they work perfectly and go really well with the colour of the pot too. Smell, oh, These roses are Gabriel oak, and I think they look fabulous en masse in all of these pots together. I've had them in these pots for approximately 3 years now, and I think they keep getting better every year. Now take a look at this copper beech and how beautifully it marries with this catalpa. This is an Indian bean tree, and look at these leaves. This is the last tree in the whole garden to come into leaf, and my goodness, I look forward to it every single year. And these leaves are just going to keep getting bigger as they are still developing. The first time I discovered this tree was in the garden of Tom's parents, and it was almost love at first sight. And then just over here we've got this ceanothus, or Californian lilac, and it is a magnet for bees. This has been humming for the last 2 to 3 weeks whilst these flowers have been opening up everywhere. Once the flowers are over, we will give it a bit of a trim, because I can almost struggle to get out of the back door, but it is wonderful. Look at it. Who wouldn't like this? It's encroaching on the back door, but I don't mind. I love it. And there's another plant here that is going great guns right now, and that is this erigeron. I started with about 3 plants, and my girlfriend bought me a couple, and now we have a sea of them around the base of these crab apples. They even seed in the crevices of the cobbles, which is lovely as well. And before we head towards the walled garden, some of you might be wondering what's coming up in the gravel here. This is Nigella, or Love in the Mist, and I let this seed itself. Probably 5-6 years ago, I scattered some seeds in the wall and had them growing up there. And then over the years, they've self-seeded into the gravel where they're most happy. And I just let them self-seed year on year. Aren't they beautiful? This is Lunaria. Again, self-seeds around the place, but looks really delicate coming up through this area, and softens it as well, gives it a little bit of interest. Now there's one plant that has the most knockout fragrance that we never even planted. This is coming from the other side of the wall, from a piece of land that isn't ours, but offers us these beautiful creamy white flowers and a smell that hits you before you even see it. We definitely know it's a Philadelphus, but no idea what variety. It could be quite an old one, or just even a standard one. In the last couple of weeks, the limes have really put on some leaf growth. I feel it's been a bit later this year due to the very dry weather we've been having. But now, oh, that green is looking very, very welcoming. Quite possibly one of the best performers, and a rose that a lot of people ask the name of, is this, and this is Rose Gertrude Jekyll. Widely available and insane fragrance. It really, again, you smell it before you get to it. The bees love it, and it gives you good amount of flowering time. So we'll get this flush now, and then they will all be deadheaded, and we should get a second flush a little bit later on in the season. But my goodness, it's a star performer. Underplanted with Nepeta. The alliums have just gone over, and we have the alliums coming up just as the roses start to open. And next to it, we've got another Darcy bustle and some foxgloves just coming up through them. We have some salvia at the back here. This is Salvia caradonna, which the deep blue of the caradonna against the rich colour of the rose works perfectly. And then these two beds that frame the doorway into the walled garden, we have got climbing up the two obelisks here are the Rose Wollerton Old Hall. And again, just a beautiful, beautiful rose. I love it. This rose is named after one of our favourite gardens in the UK here, called Wollerton Old Hall, owned by John and Leslie Jenkins, and it is wonderful. And just at the base of it is Rose Lady Emma Hamilton. Sadly, it has been retired from David Austin Roses, and probably for good reason. It is quite a tricky rose to look after, but it is a beauty. And Tom bought me this rose 10 years ago for my 40th birthday. So I do have a bit of an attachment to it. Right, let's have a look in here. It has really filled out in here. Over the last few weeks, everything has started to burst open and pop, green up. It's looking amazing. Along the left hand side here, we've got lots of different peonies, some still in tight buds, some in flower. And then here we've got the amazing Gladitsia, a tree that I really do love, and it sits beautifully next to the ceanothus. The blue and the limey yellow together work perfectly. We've got this Nepeta. The iris Palidas are just starting to go over. I need to do some deadheading. And this rose here was a gift from a girlfriend, and I'm pretty sure it's called Many Happy Returns. Now, I've got this book with me, this notebook, that I keep a list of all the roses that we have in the garden here. And yes, this is Many Happy Returns. Lots of foxgloves. Look at the colours of those. And just against the wall here, and it's coming into flower now. And this is the Rose Chevy Chase. And we've got two of them against the wall. The mother plant is this one and layered itself. And then we have its baby next to it. And just below here, and it started to open its flowers last week, this is Rose Buff Beauty and forms a beautiful, relatively large shrub. This purple sage is throwing out some new shoots as well, and I love how it spills out onto the gravel. The phylloxerums are just starting to come up as well, giving us a bit of a backdrop behind the irises that are just going over. Here we've got this rose. This is William Shakespeare 2000 with its velvet deep crimson, which fades into a rich purple. These peonies are just starting to go over. I'm not sure what variety they were meant to be. These were supposed to be Sarah Bernhardt, but they're not. These are single varieties of some sort. But that's okay. They're still beautiful. They're a peony. The next rose we've got here is Graham Thomas. Oh, and my goodness, I love this for its yellow, probably almost butter yellow flowers. Quite an old rose this, I think. And you've got the Acer sitting behind it, which goes beautifully. And then we've just got the Nautia coming up at the front. And then we've got the Persicaria Red Dragon, which I've repeated 3 times along here. So the rose in the middle here is Rosemore. Not out yet, but this will certainly be out come next month. And then we've got these Allium bulgaricums here, which are just starting to go over. And what's fascinating is that they have these droplet flowers that then come back up to themselves as they fade and start to dry out. This rose at the end here is Munstered Wood, which is a beautiful deep crimson. Lovely colour. Got a lot of feverfew coming up through this. I might have to pull some of it out actually. I love getting to this point and then turning around and looking back down this border with all the colours and the billowing borders. The steeper's out on force, offering its beautiful, soft, elegant plumes. So a couple of weeks ago, Tom finished the pathways in here, which instantly has made this garden look totally different. And we've let things seed themselves in these beds for the minute while we decide what to put in them. One being the steeper I've just shown you, but we've got poppies coming up and that's lovely, and it'll give us a bit of summer colour in here. We're going to be planting a fig against the wall, which we will train against it, and it'll fill that space perfectly. Tom has also replaced the bamboo to the plane tree canopy, and it's almost meeting in the middle here now, which means we've almost got a full canopy. A little bit emptier here, but we feel that's because these trees are against the wall and are a little bit slower, but it'll come. A whole different feel to this area now. You never used to be able to walk into this section because this was a border, and now we have this lovely island here and just there with a bit of planting that we can put against the wall or even climb more things up here. We've left the Maclear plume poppy in. Look at this. This will get even taller as well. It's incredible the height that this gets to and the spread as well, but I think it works quite well here for its height, for its unusual leaf, and it's happy. Right plant, right place. Quick look at the cutting garden at a glance, because I'd like to bring you back in here in a couple of weeks' time where we can talk a little bit more about what has exactly gone in here. Really taking shape. We're going to be working in here tomorrow. We don't mow in the orchard during the month of May and even June, I think, because I really like how the grass comes up. Hello. And we've mown a pathway through here so we can get to the hen house. And there's now a pathway leading to the cutting garden, which is lovely. I love having the grass billowing either sides, and the hens love it too. Now the problem is, when we leave the grass tall, the hens lay in the grass and we can never find the eggs. No. Well, this is the north cutting border here, and the Alchemilla mollis are just starting to open. And it's incredible how this plant has become this big from nothing in the space of probably a month. I've got a few foxgloves scattered in here, and the geums are just going over. These have been lovely throughout the month of May. And the sweet williams as well. These are doing really well. And I've now got the dahlias starting to come up. And these alliums have seeded themselves here. These are Christophii, which I'm quite pleased about actually. We've got the stachys flowering now as well, and the Ciceringium are also flowering. We've got some more Allium Christophii here, all looking well. And this is Phlomis, and I love its tiered effect and its lovely yellow flower. Echinops are on their way. And then we've got this lovely white valerian. Oh, look at the colour of this one. Ooh. Now just here we've got this rose glauca, and I only really grow it for its leaf, the colour of its stem. The flowers are just a single pink flower, which are very beautiful, but the foliage is my favourite. Well, thank you so much for coming with me for a little June tour, and I will look forward to seeing you next time when I will show you how I have filled in some gaps around the dragon area. See you next time. Bye.